Hello, we hope you're doing well. Welcome back to a very exciting episode of Esports News. We hope you guys all enjoy. As always, all the safe stories will be timestamped down below, and let's get into it. And first off, in big CSGO news out there, actually leaked a couple days ago by FMPone. If you guys are not aware, one of the map creators, the map creator for Cash, and apparently a 29 rework is actually coming soon. As you guys can see on his stream, he actually did leak some of the footage and pictures of apparently the 2019 rework coming for Cash. And on top of that, we're going to try and enlarge it for you guys. There's not too much you can actually drag away from this, but it was very cool to see because you can tell by the textures at least. It's kind of got a bit of a Call of Duty like overgrown vibe. If you guys are fans of CSGO, kind of like a DE Aztec vibe, where kind of nature is almost taking over the map. So apparently coming sometime in 2019, we will have Cash rework. So that was in pretty big news. On top of that, we also have Taz giving us a little showdown, a little show of what N0tail Cup conditions look like. It almost looks like a throwback to WESG last year, but probably not near as bad. But still, on top of that, other pro players have been complaining so far about N0tail Cup conditions, and not in terms of the actual conditions, but of course the scheduling of very, very late games. Actually, according to two different pros, it was Prius, and alongside that, we also had Pasha complaining about apparently these guys have been up all day and then actually having to play very, very late at night. But again, it's actually leading to some big upsets as well. As of right now, N0tail conditions and map schedules. So far, a lot of complaints about the tournament itself, but we have seen a couple big upsets. The first of which was actually Kingwin, Taz himself, a part of Kingwin, upsetting Tfue in a best of 3, which probably is not a huge upset. But on top of that, and in bigger news, we actually have Ghost Gaming led by Steel, of course, and in this case, led by Wardell, who actually had 24 frags in one of the maps in the very first half, actually took down Optic Gaming in a best of 3. So N0tail, it might have been late conditions for the teams over there, but big upsets happening in that series, and it's been kind of crazy to watch. And on top of that, very lastly as well, we actually have some Navi news out there thanks to N0tail. It does seem Navi is apparently going to not go forward with Flamey. As of right now, it's not confirmed whether due to personal issues, due to health issues. It could seem possible that Flamey will not play with the team for DreamHack Stockholm. So we're not really sure again of those actual issues. As of right now, it's been for undisclosed reasons, and it's not confirmed he will not play with them, but it's definitely a possibility going forward. And also very lastly for Navi as well, we do have confirmation they will be missing Star Series Season 6, apparently to avoid burnout. So I actually applaud these guys, one of the few teams out there. And again, it's actually going to be Star Series Season 6 will be our first tournament after the major, and it seems Navi will not be attending. It's a bit of a surprise though, because it's the first time they will not be at this event since 2012. And even bigger news, you guys know back in June, early this summer, they took the title there at Star Series Season 5, and Season 6 will not have them in attendance. So some pretty big news there for Navi. No matter how they do at the major, it's definitely a big announcement for them to not be attending there. But again, apparently it's to actually avoid burnout, which you have to applaud them for. And very lastly as well, if you guys did hear, and if you guys are here for CSGO news, if you did hear about the news last night regarding McSkillet, I do want to let you guys know we're not going to be talking about that probably in full detail on the channel. Obviously, the entire situation is pretty grave, and as of right now, we do not know the full details of that. My prayers go out to everyone involved in the accident itself, and if you guys do want a full release on that, I maybe will be doing a video about that on my personal channel, but for now, we'll not be touching on that. But again, just some sad news for the CSGO scene came out this morning, so if you guys know, you know, and full details are probably going to come out sometime in the future about that occasion. But anyway, we're going to try and keep it upbeat for the rest of the episode, guys. Let's get into Dota 2. And also in big Dota 2 news, of course, we now enter day 5 of the main event, guys, for TI8. I cannot wait. So far throughout playoffs, we've seen a lot of 2-0 defeats, a lot of 2-0 victories, but I do want to, of course, talk about day 4. One of the biggest upsets we did see, of course, I got to talk about it, got to mention it very briefly, was OG taking down EG in some incredible fashion. One of our few matches so far to actually go to that third match, and it was OG taking them down in a huge comeback. I believe at this point in time, people were reporting 15 and 16k gold leads. It was actually a 20k gold lead 39 minutes in, and led by Ana, that team came back at the very, very last minute and actually swept them up in that best of 3 series. And it was just amazing to see it, especially because, of course, given the history of these guys, N0tail and Fly, I think the history is a bit dramatized for the screen. But again, you guys saw the cold stare, the cold-blooded stare and handshake after the game of N0tail to Fly. It was just an incredible moment, and I couldn't help but be happy for these OG guys. Came out of nowhere, kind of a combination of some scrub, kind of a random ragtag team kind of thrown together, and taking down a team like EG is no no easy feat. I do want to say, though, I would not be surprised if we see EG come back to the lower bracket. As of right now, they've already taken down Virtus.pro. We also saw, on top of that, we saw Team Secret take down VGJ. Some big things happening as well today, guys. We also had Virtus.pro before their loss, unfortunately enough, to EG, where EG made it look easy. It was Virtus.pro taking out Optic, and again, Optic did take game 1, but again, the last 2 games were very notable in VP's way. So EG to make it look that easy against Virtus.pro, the next game up, was just incredible to see. So today, though, we have some great matches, the first of which will be LGD and OG. Now, I really can't see OG coming away with it, but again, LGD not losing a single map throughout playoffs so far, but I have to be on the hype train, and after beating EG, anything can truly happen. So LGD and OG, we also have Liquid and Secret, and alongside that, the winner of Liquid and Secret will face off against Evil Geniuses, and again, Evil Geniuses, if they want to face off against OG once again, will have to win that matchup, and I do not doubt them one bit. So a lot of great matchups coming in today, guys. I cannot wait to watch those all day long, as of course TI8 does go through this weekend, and I cannot wait to see who are going to be our grand final winners. Leave a comment down below who you guys think is going to take it all. Are you on the OG hype train? Are you on the LGD hype train? Which train are you on? Leave a comment down below. And also in very big Fortnite news, of course, we actually had 5.3 patch notes go live last night. So a slight buff to the pump shotgun, not really too big of buffs if I do want to say so. Just a smaller reduced hold time for that pump shotgun. Most notably on top of that, we do now have, as they did prelude to, we actually have portable rifts. And also very most importantly as well, I would say there's a new auto option. I think very cool as well. If you guys want to pick up meds and pots, you can now auto click this option to actually fill that to the right side of your inventory. So some minor changes there for those 3 things. And on top of that, I would say most notably, and probably the biggest game changer when it comes to competitive play when we talk about skirmish series in a bit here, we actually have clingers now affected by gravity, and they will not go off until their fuse actually goes out, which does mean they previously went off when you actually broke the walls or anything they were attached to. They will actually now drop down inside the 1x1 or whatever the structure it is until that fuse does go out. So that's going to cause some problems, especially if you have a squad, if you have a duo partner who's breaking the walls for you. Those clingers will now drop inside via gravity. So some big updates coming in 5.3. Not too notable changes, but still some competitive play changes. And speaking of which, we of course enter skirmish series weeks in a brand new, I guess you could say a brand new format for this week, and that will be known as Big Bonus. Apparently eliminations, as per usual, 1 point. Alongside that, a victory royale brings you plus 5 points, and on top of that, a 8+ elimination match, and it will be a duos event, will also bring you plus 5 points. So it can pretty much going to be like we saw Kingpin the last couple of weeks. It's pretty much like that, but bigger bonuses for kills and wins, and so it should be a pretty kill intensive, should not be a camp heavy festival this weekend, and I cannot wait to watch that. Now, of course, if you guys are here because of the thumbnail, we're going to talk about very fastly here Tfue reported this morning as well on Twitter, and it's apparently some more news coming soon. Actually, his Twitch has been suspended, his YouTube account has been deleted for the time being. It's probably going to be coming back up here. He did say more information coming soon. I'm going to show you guys the alleged clip that could have been the reason why. Now, I say alleged because there is no reason he should be suspended on Twitch because of this clip, and there is definitely no reason his YouTube channel should be deleted because of this. So here's the clip that's allegedly going around right now.
I'm dead.
Suck my dick, man. You want to dance on me, man? You sucking on my pee-pee, baby.
Yo! He's like, oh, he's so weak. I got this. Suck my peen, dog.
So obviously not the most appropriate thing to say, but I think given the context, and even then, given what people have been saying recently on Twitch and getting away with, most notably, I think this definitely should be not a suspension. But on top of that, there's other rumors out there. Apparently his audience, his viewers have been very toxic, have been going to other channels and spamming some things that have been borderline racist or maybe sexist or other offensive things. And apparently, according to Twitch TOS, if your audience as a whole, if your audience as a large group of people actually goes to other channels and harasses them, you are held accountable for it as a streamer, which I find very hard to believe that's actually a TOS thing, because there's no way Tfue is ever telling these people to go to other popular streamers' channels and actually spread this stuff. It's definitely, in my opinion, not his own fault, but apparently more information coming soon. If Tfue will be unbanned or unsuspended, it's highly likely, but again, just this kind of thing happening is definitely some big drama out there, and we definitely need some clarification as to why it's happening so it doesn't happen again in the future. Now, very lastly, some big game updates happening as well. We did have lightning strike the Rift. The Rift is now gone, and that might also be why Rifts are now disappearing in the game, and we now have portable Rifts instead, but there's now a big wide open gap in the sky. What is happening next season? I think it's going to slowly start unraveling itself, and I cannot wait to see what happens. And also, of course, in big League of Legends news this weekend, we do have EU and NA LCS playoffs, and I told you guys on Wednesday's episode, we're going to try and predict the playoff matchups. So feel free to leave a comment down below who you guys think is going to take these playoffs this weekend, and I cannot wait to see the matchups itself. And again, the matchups will be on screen for all of you, as well as my predictions, the first of which I will be taking. Let's go EU LCS first. I'm actually going to take Splice here over Schalke. Schalke, especially the last 2 weekends, definitely struggling, losing to some really odd teams, one of them being H2K, a couple losses to Rockhat as well. I really can't see them actually having the consistency to take down Splice, although it could be a close series and definitely one that could go either way. On top of that, though, it doesn't really matter too much to me, because I think in the semifinals here, Vitality takes it all the way. Vitality winning 7 of their last 8 over there. I think they probably take down Splice quite handily. Now, on the other side of the bracket as well, I will be taking G2 for a couple matches here, the first of which, of course, over Misfits. And again, you guys are probably going to realize most of my results so far are based off recency. I think that definitely matters, especially attending to the back half of the split. A lot of these teams, especially in EU LCS, have gone on some big streaks, either losing or winning, and G2's kind of had a, I guess you could say, a pretty solid so far back half of the split, but Misfits not so much. They went 3-7 the back half of the split, and on top of that, really kind of questioning their 5th man right now between Mikix and their assistant coach Jez's, and especially over the past 2 weekends, not looking too solid. I take G2 over Misfits, and alongside that, I also take G2 over their next matchup, Fnatic, in a very close series. Although, historically speaking, of course, Fnatic, your #1 overall seed, I don't think, I'm gonna kind of contradict myself later on here. I think with their 5-man roster kind of struggling in terms of solidification down the last 2 weekends, they of course were switching out Reckless and Soaz and Whippo. I really don't know who their solidified 5-man roster is going to be, so based off that alone, I'm going to take G2 with a slight upset here over Fnatic, because they have a solidified 5-man roster. Yes, Fnatic can switch around their roster for lower tier teams, but when you face off against G2, one of the best teams in this split, most notably recently, I think it's going to probably not work in their favor. Now, very lastly as well, I will take Vitality over G2 throughout the entire split. I do believe Vitality actually had their way with G2, and I think it will maintain them all the way throughout playoffs. Vitality, the French organization, will take EU LCS playoff. And of course, on the North American side, though, I think this one probably a much closer race, and again, my predictions are only in my opinion, guys, so again, leave your comments down below what you guys think is going to happen, and give me and maybe some reasons as to why. But I think, especially in North America, definitely a harder thing to predict here. Of course, there's going to be upsets along the way. There's always that controversy of if teams get a bye to the semifinals, is that a benefit or a negative for that team? So that could come into play as well. I will take the round 1 Echo Fox over TSM. I think consistency for both these teams has definitely been a problem, but TSM got a bit lucky. Of course, that big win over Optic in that last week to actually certify their spot as well. They do go 2-0 with some convincing wins in that last week, but I think in terms of confidence and team morale, I just can't see it. But either way, I definitely can see of all the series so far, this one going either way. On top of that, I will actually have Cloud9 over Echo Fox. I will have Cloud9 pretty much the entire way. I'm on the hype train, guys. When you win 8 in a row, there's just, I can't cheer against you, and I can't root against you or pick against you when you win 8 in a row like Cloud9 have done, especially with a 7-man roster, and that's how they did with 2 substitute players against Liquid. That'll come into play in a bit here. But on top of that, I will have 100 Thieves. I think probably the easiest series to predict so far. I will take 100 Thieves over FlyQuest. The base race Kings will not go any longer, and I think I also saw someday, or it was someone on that 100 Thieves roster having some confidence tweets. I like confidence, guys, and 100 Thieves over FlyQuest for sure. I will also take Team Liquid, no surprise, over 100 Thieves. Your #1 overall team, the most consistent and only consistent North American team as of late, besides maybe Cloud9. And in the finals, no surprise, Cloud9, Team Liquid. I will, though, take a bit of a surprise maybe for some of you. I'll take Cloud9. The hype train continues. The opposite reason why I chose Fnatic to lose. If you guys remember that, I chose Fnatic to lose because Fnatic cannot stick to a 5-man roster. It's either Reckless or Soaz or Whippo taking bot or top lane. Just a confusing juncture over there. I will take the 2 substitute players, though. Cloud9 7-man roster, Golden Glue and Sven joining the team has been a big benefit as of late. I will take them over Team Liquid. They surprised them in the last week. They surprised them here again. Although it's a best of 3, it's a whole new story. I will take Cloud9 to win your NA LCS playoffs, and I'll see you guys back here Monday to see how my predictions did. And also in big Overwatch news out there, we saw a brand new trailer slash cinematic for Hana. If you guys want to know more about her background story, it was very, very well done. We've seen many games over the past few weeks actually release these cinematics. We had WoW release theirs. We had League of Legends and their Rise cinematic. And I think all these things just look amazing on screen. So if you guys want to know more about her backstory, it was very well done. That will be linked down below. Alongside that, some patch notes. We actually had a brand new map released, a brand new control map in Busan. So that's also very cool to see. Some very cool additions to the game. But alongside that, with the patch notes, will be linked down below for you guys to also see on screen. Nothing too notable so far, although Brigitte did see somewhat of a buff. I guess you could say probably a soft counter to Reinhardt's charge. And this is actually now a soft counter because now her shield bash will knock up his charge. It would actually knock up both of them. So it's kind of a soft counter, definitely not a hard counter to this because it doesn't negate the ability altogether, but it's definitely a double knockup if timed correctly. So I guess you could say a slight Brigitte counter to that Reinhardt charge has been the only notable update so far. Reinhardt also saw some changes to him. So if you guys are Reinhardt mains, feel free to check those patch notes out. Some consistency changes, nothing too, I guess you could say nothing too substantial, more so quality of life updates. And that was it for Overwatch news in terms of the actual game itself. But we also have continuing roster changes. For all you San Francisco Shock fans out there, a big roster change here is they now released 3 of their players. It's going to be Nami, Dak, and alongside that, IDD have all been released from the team. Although they did note, guys, no teams have signed them yet. But if they are not signed by the end of this trade lock, they will be welcomed back to San Francisco Shock for their stream team. So yes, a big release there, guys. Almost a fourth of their roster are now gone. San Francisco Shock looking to make some big changes before next season. And also, very lastly, of course, in Rocket League news, not too much going on right now, but one big story. If you guys are Rocket League fans, of course, you got to be watching Season 2 Open Universal this weekend, hosted and inside the NBC studios. It will actually be live streamed on both Twitch and YouTube. I'll try and link some things down below if you guys can somehow not find it. It will be these 8 teams on screen competing, which we, of course, have covered over the past 3 to 4 weeks of them qualifying for that. And one quick thing, Reezy and Scrub, yes, they're not actually girls, but they have renamed themselves girls for this tournament a few days ago. Earlier this week, they actually did that. So congratulations to them. The girls will compete this weekend against 7 other great teams, some of our top teams in Rocket League right now for the Universal Open. So I hope you guys do watch that, and that's going to do it for today's episode of Esports News. I hope you guys all enjoy. Feel free to leave a comment down below if we missed anything, and we will see you guys all back here Monday with another lengthy episode. And until then, I'll see you then.